In the book of the Hadith, continuing with nuzhat al-fikr, we mentioned the meaning of al-mu'allaq and then al-mu'dal and then al-mu'dal. Al-mu'dal, we said the definition of al-hadithu al-mu'dal is to have from the chain of narration dropped two narrators, consecutive narration. There are two following each other. That's the hadith al-mu'dal. The al-mu'dal, the hadith al-mu'dal was named al-mu'dal. They think by dropping one narrator, is already the hadith becomes rejected. So if we have dropped two narrators or more, it's like the narrator of the hadith is like قالوا أعضله أعياء, make it very, very weak, not even being to be considered. So hadith mu'dal, something is like the narrator you are offering to us a hadith that is so weak. Already one missing from the chain is rejected. You bring in a hadith that have two, that's mu'dal. Okay, that's mu'dal. قال فالأول المعلق والثاني المرسل والثالث إن كان باثنين فصاعدا مع التوالي فهو المعضل. So the third, if we have dropping two narrators from the chain and following consecutive narrator and more, this is the mu'dal. وإلا فالمنقطع. So what is the definition of hadith al-munqata? Toward the mu'dal. What is the definition of hadith al-munqata? We studied the mursal, right? Al-munqata, if the missing narrator are not consecutive, one or more is munqata. So if we have two not following each other or more, that is al-munqata. So any missing narrator from the chain, if it's not consecutive, then he's al-munqata. If they are following each other, two. You know, for example, we give the example, we have the narrator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they're missing 3 and 4, this is mu'dal. So they will be consecutive. 5 and 4, mu'dal. 3 and 2, mu'dal. If it's missing 4 and 2, this is munqata. Why? Because they are not consecutive narrators. Munqata. So if we say what is his definition, قال ما سقط من إسناده قبل الصحابي, whatever dropped from his chain before the companion, so beneath the companion, one or more, but not consecutive. That's the munqata. So the mu'dal, the condition of the mu'dal to be two missing following each other, the narrator. The munqata is missing of any narrator, but not in order. The mu'dal need to be in order. The munqata missing without order. We have an example here, رواه أبو داود. رواه أبو داود قال أخبرنا يونس ابن عبيد عن الحسن. Now listen. عن الحسن الإمام الحسن البصري أن عمر بن الخطاب جمع الناس على أبي بن كعب فكان يصلي لهم 20 ليلة ولا يقنط بهم إلا في النصف الباقي. Just the hadith that Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu gathered the people in the Taraweeh led by Ubay ibn Ka'b. How this hadith munqata? We have in the end of narration عن الحسن أن عمر. Hassan and Umar. So the scholar is saying this isnad is munqata, is disconnected, this isnad. Where? He said Al-Hassanu to Umar, because when Umar passed away, Al-Hassan, he was 2 years old. When Umar passed away, Al-Hassan was 2 years old. So it's impossible for Al-Hassan to hear this hadith from Umar. So we have inqita, there's a whole chain here. We don't know what missing, 1 or 2 or 3 narrators between Al-Hassan and Umar for this hadith. So this hadith is munqata. And when it is munqata, it is rejected, mardud. But when we say rejected, it is da'if. Hadithun da'if. When we say da'if, is weak. And the weakness can be corrected. Yes, it can be corrected. If we have more ahadith that can help it. You remember, hadith da'if is strengthened by other ahadiths to be upgraded to what level? الحسن لغيره. الحسن لغيره. If we check the levels of the dhaf, of the weakness, which are the, let's say, the one who has more problem than the other. The worst among them is al-mu'adhar. Then comes al-munqata. Then comes al-mudallis that we're going to study. Al-mudallis. Al-mudallis is kind of innocent cheating. We're going to explain it. Then comes al-mursal. So the less one, da'if, is al-mursal. And the mursal, he said, what the tabi'i will narrate the hadith on behalf of the Prophet ﷺ without naming the companion. That's al-mursal. But we're going to study the Buddhas. This is the category. So let's say the worst in the da'if is al-mu'adhar. Then comes after it al-munqata. Then comes al-mudallis, then al-mursal. And we go to study what is al-mudallis. قال فالأول المعلق. Okay. والثاني المرسل. والثالث إن كان باثنين فصاعدا مع التوالي فهو المعضل وإلا فالمنقطع. The first is the mu'allaq, the hanged one. The second is al-mursal. The third, if he's missing 2 in order, then 4 is al-mu'adhal. If not, it's called al-munqata. Then al-mursal, sometimes it's clear, or the inqita, this disconnection, it might be not clear. For example, how the chain is disconnected between Hassan and Umar is very clear. They're telling you, when Umar passed away, radiallahu ta'ala an, Al-Hassan al-Basri, he was 2 years old. So this is very clear. But what if we have hadith that the narrator are close to age and they lived in the same time? That becomes khafi, very hidden. Very hidden. That's when we want to talk about al-mudallis. That's why when he say قال فالأول يدرك بعدم التلاقي ومن ثم احتيج إلى التاريخ. So the first is easy to detect that there's a break in the chain when you realize that these two narrators, that one after the other one, they could not have met. They could not have met. So it's disconnected, like the case of Al-Hassan and Umar. So, and the case when they could possibly have met, that's where we have a problem. That's when the scholar of Hadith, they try to detect. سيقول أولا يكون واضحا يحصل الاشتراك في معرفته ككون الراوي مثلا لم يعاصر من روى عنه. It will be very clear when you find in the order that the narrator, he's narrating on someone that they didn't meet, they didn't live in the same time. So this is very clear. أو يكون خفيا أو can be hidden. فلا يدركه إلا الأئمة الحذاق المطلعون على طرق الحديث وعلل الأسانيد. Or it will be hidden only those eminent, very highly rooted scholars of hadith who they detect the smallest anomalies and irregularities into the chain of narration. فالأول, the one clear, قال يدرك بعدم التلاقي بين الراوي وشيخه بكونه لم يدرك عصره أو أدرك لكن لم يجتمع وليست له منه إجازة ولا وجادة. So he's saying here, so the one clear that we have a break in the chain is very obvious when you know that these two, they could not have met. Or say, قال أو أدركه, or they lived in the same time, but he didn't have any ijazah, he didn't have a license, he didn't study with the sheikh. Or wujada, and wujada is that he find a book, or he gave him a book of his with the writing of the sheikh, so he can read from his book. He has a book belong to, for example, Az-Zuhri, and he didn't study with the Zuhri, but he has this book. It's been origin, so he can narrate from this book. Al-Ijazah, so the scholar gave him Ijazah to narrate on his behalf. So if he doesn't have neither of these, therefore he cannot, if he narrate on behalf of that sheikh, it will not be accepted. قال ومن ثم احتيج إلى التاريخ. Based on that, what the scholar they were looking for to detect these irregularities is to check the dates, to check the dates of birth, the dates of life. That's why it becomes, subhanAllah, very famous in the books of Islam, in the library. They always tell you when he's born and when he died. And this is to give you the area where, the epoch, the century, the generation, the influence he got from his environment, and the possible shuyukh that they might have met. فقال وقد افتضح, look, ومن ثم احتاج إلى التاريخ, they need the history, the dates, لتضمنه تحرير مواليد الرواة ووفاياتهم. So that the scholar, they can detect and analyze and check the date of birth and the date when they passed away, and the time of their knowledge when they are student of knowledge, and the time of their traveling. And he continued, this is Ibn Hajar in his explanation of Nahbat al-Fakr. He continued, قال وقد افتضح أقوام ادعوا الرواية عن شيوخ ظهر بالتاريخ كذب دعواهم. And he said, it's been uncovered. Many of the narrators, they claim that they learn on shuyukh when discovering the true dates that they've been uncovered that they never met them. They've been uncovered that they never met them. So they've been uncovered they are liars, and who've been uncovered is liar, all his hadith are rejected. طيب المدلس الحديث المدلس التدليس comes from the word they called الدلس اختلاط الظلام. الدلس is the time where some darkness gets with the light, so it becomes difficult to discern things. So you're not sure of the thing that you see because it becomes to get dark. So delas. From it took this make of tadlis. So you put something, you hide it, so no one will figure out the truth of it, what's really happening. Type of tadlis that is innocent. And inshallah we study it with its types. A scholar knows that he always with his sheikh narrating from him. He's narrating from his scholar. He's known, his thiqah has integrity, etc., etc. And they are students together. That day he missed the class. When he came the afternoon, he talked to his friend. What did you get today as a hadith? He told him we have this. He wants to narrate directly on his sheikh because he's sheikh. He doesn't want narrated through his friend. So he's going to say, حدثني, my friend on behalf of my sheikh. That will not be eloquent in front of his student. So he will not say, my sheikh حدثني. He said, my sheikh directly without saying, so he's missing. He's ignoring the friend that he gets from him hadith, the time when he's absent. But he will not say that he heard it from his sheikh. He put like a word to make you think that he heard, but in reality he didn't. For example, on behalf of my sheikh, that he said, instead of I heard from my sheikh. Now the scholar, they said, if you say on behalf, he makes tadlis, but it will be accepted as hadith. But if he say haddathani, so he lied. If he lied, so all the hadith he has are rejected. Some other, they take the hadith, and in the chain of narration, there's someone with full integrity, and someone weak. No one, for example, with a problem of memorization. And then there's someone else who's full of integrity and precision in the hadith. To have the hadith to offer it so the people, they take it. He will drop that one in the middle. So he will make, when you look at the chain, you find all the chain of great, trustworthy narrator. So the one who doesn't detect that drop, he's going to say this hadith is sahih. And this, subhanAllah, the eminent scholar of hadith who detected all these types of irregularity and anomalies to bring to the ummah the most authentic of the hadith. And this is from Fadlullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. and his bounty in protecting the way of the Prophet ﷺ to protect the deen of Islam. So we start with the Hadith al-Mudallas and we'll explain it inshallah next time. Any question before we leave?
Hadith al-Muqaddar is
Al-Munqata.
Hassan and Umar.
Yes.
Hassan was 2 years old when he died.
When Umar passed away.
What about if you say Hassan Basri? This is Abi. If you told him Hassan is dad, and then Umar.
If Hassan said it,
Yeah.
but we don't have it. That's why he's rejected the hadith. So we don't have that proof. Who said that Hassan he took from his father? That's the thing. So that missing, it doesn't mean the missing narrator is someone who's a bad person. No. The fact that we don't know the narrator, the hadith is right. That's how are meticulous, and they are very, accurate in grading the hadith. So that's majhul al-hal. We don't know who this person. Because it's unknown, the hadith is da'if. Because it's unknown, the hadith is da'if. So someone is saying, maybe his father, we say, okay, where's the proof? Maybe another companion, where's the proof? The fact we do not know, then the hadith is da'if. That's why if someone doesn't know the chain, everyone can make up any hadith. So when someone brings hadith, they say, who are your narrator? Where's your chain? Yes.
But if Hassan say, I just heard hadith in my father, it's okay, right?
Yes. But the hadith that we mentioned is not the Hassan who narrating it. There's 3 before him. So the first here, it was the hadith al-Munqata, right? So look, I'm gonna say the hadith so we can go. Abu Dawud, he mentioned the hadith. قال حدثنا شجاع ابن مخلد تناهشين أخبرنا يونس بن عبيد عن الحسن أن عمر. So the first one, he doesn't even know Al-Hasan. So this chain, when we come, we have someone missing. Who is missing? We wish someone met Al-Hasan to tell him who is missing. So at this level, at the time when Abu Dawud narrated and he heard it from Shuja' ibn Mukhlid, the hadith is da'if. Well, inshallah, that's it.
Are we going to get any break anytime soon, inshallah, for Ramadan?
The last class will be next week, inshallah. And then we resume as the same the Arabic mahal, inshallah, after Ramadan, after the Eid. But next week we'll have a class, inshallah. Jazakallah.